Okay, so let's start again with Walther Pohl. These are some pictures. Okay, so plates of picture plates. So here we have the bauxite extraction at Huntley Mine, southwestern Australia. By the way, Australia is quite famous, like for mines. There are a lot of mineral resources in Australia. Just a minute. When it comes to Australia, we have a lot of resources. Yeah. So on the Darling Plateau, bauxite is a part of mature soil profile developed over Archean gneiss and granite. The area is covered by woodland, the Jara. So yeah, we have started with the bauxite extraction. These are the picture plates from Walther Pohl. Bauxite extraction at Huntley Mine, west southwestern Australia. Australia is enriched with a lot of mineral resources, and it's like largest resources of a lot of minerals. So on the Darling Plateau, bauxite is part of a mature soil profile developed over Archean gneiss and granite. The area is covered by woodland, the Jara or Eucalyptus marginata forest. Mining depends on the availability of land and its social acceptance on rapid re-establishment of the native ecosystem, reproduced by permission of Alcoa Incorporation. Rehabilitation, rehabilitated Jara forest covers former extraction panels of Huntley bauxite mine in front of the lake, reproduced by permission from Alcoa Incorporation. This is a black smoker in the mid-Atlantic ridge graben. Okay, the latitude longitude is given that long at water depth of approximately 3,000 meter. Okay, IFM geomar is the I think the picture of the camera name of the camera. So this is the black smoker. What kind of deposits are found here? Sulfides. So mid-oceanic copper mineralization in chimney fragments from inactive Swan field in the central Indian Ocean. Okay, let's see again, Hallback. It's Berlin. The polished section shows pyrite, which is white. The white color, this is pyrite. The polished section shows pyrite, white as the earliest sulfide phase, followed by chalcopyrite, which is yellow. The yellow portion is chalcopyrite. And the increasing hydrothermal depletion of iron in bornite, which is the blue brown has to be this. So this is bornite. And thin rim of diagenite, which is pale blue digenite. Okay, so this is digenite. The long side of the image corresponds to 0.6 millimeter, whose space filled by casting resin is variably dark. That's it. Okay, geothermal hot springs and siliceous center mound at Sempaya in northwestern Uganda. So this is a geothermal hot spring. You see this? The water is oozing out and the vapor is also seen. Water and the vapor. So that's the geyser or hot springs we call. So geothermal hot springs and siliceous sinter mound at Sempaya in northwestern Uganda. The convective system is related to the large border fault of the Ruwenzori Mountains, with a vertical displacement of more than 10 km between the petroliferous Tertiary Albert Reef in the west and the Paleoproterozoic crystalline coast in the east. Okay, then we have the essence of hydrothermal alteration. You see this visible at outcrop scale, depicted by the halo centered on a small fissure branching off from formerly exploited wolframite quartz veins. Wolframite quartz veins. Okay, this is the rift. I will delete this so the picture remains. Uh, this was the fissure. This was the fissure, and these are the alterations. These are the alterations. Okay, and this was the hydrothermal alteration. Like entire portion is the hydrothermal alteration. Okay, so I'll delete this so the original picture remains. The essence of hydrothermal alteration visible at outcrop scale depicted by the halo centered on a small fissure branching off from formerly exploited wolframite quartz veins and Pan-African granite at Gashamir, Red Sea Hills, Sudan. Then this is Chukwi Kamata open pit in Chile, one of the world's largest porphyry copper mines. Uh, the pit measures 2 into 3 kilometers and approaches a depth of 900 meters. The total pre-mining resources were nearly 3,000 meter and at 1% copper and byproduct of molybdenum. Annual production is approximately 1.2 million meter copper and metric ton. Okay, this is metric ton. 3,000 metric ton at 1% Cu and byproduct is molybdenum. Annual production is 1.2, approximately 1.2 metric ton of copper and 20,000 ton of molybdenum plus uranium. So, typical copper porphyry from again Chukwi Kamata displaying brecciation and quartz veining, pervasive sedicentic greenish and argillic alteration. Gray ore in veinlets is largely chalcocite due to supergene enrichment, which reaches 800 meter below surface. Brilliantly white supergene uh, kaolin below red laterite in the rainforest of northern Burundi illustrates lateritic soil profiles, which are shaped by tropical weathering. For over 100 years, the supergene high-grade chalcocite ore of the Black Shale hosted copper deposit at metric ton oxide, sorry, at Mount Oxide and in the Mount Isa district, Australia, was the symbolic example of fortune and restitution for investors and miners. Gosan Red, the red Gosan, covered an accumulation of zone 55-meter thickness which graded into sub-economic primary sulfides. A sizable ore shoot of 15.9 percentage Cu copper was extracted by underground methods. Later, the pit was excavated and overall, the deposit yielded 23,000 ton of copper. Okay, so chalcocite ore of the Black Shale hosted copper deposit. Chalcocite ore, high-grade chalcocite ore of the Black Shale host rock. Host rock, host rock is the Black Shale. This is the host rock. Okay, host rock HR is the Black Shale. Ore rock is chalcocite. Red Gosan, copper is the metal. Then there is aeolian lag enrichment of magnetite. You see here magnetite. Dark sand patches. This is nitrogen, this is magnetite. 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 This is there like this batch. This is the batch. Here again there is this batch. Okay. This batch, batch. So the dark patches, magnetite, at Arncourt, Red Sea Hill, Sudan. Note the exploration trench testing, the neutrophils their primary mineralization in the foreground. Hmm. Then we have panning, cassiterite columbite ore from Niagara uh, pegmatite, eastern Rwanda. Note the small mass of black ore mineral sand which remains from washing the pan filled with ore. Then we have the alluvial placer mining near Luhanga in the tin tantalum district of Katumba, Rwanda. After extraction, the devastated valley must be restored. Then we have this folded and metamorphosed superior type black banded iron formation near Mountain Tom Price mine in the Hammersley Gorge, uh, Karijini National Park, Western Australia, with marine scientists Ivo Lepland and Mark van Zwelen kindly posing for scale. Okay. Iron-rich beds, black, and silica is the jasper, red, photographed by Ivo Lepland, GS of Western Australia. It's amazing. So the red part is the jasper, and the eye is the iron, rich bed. So this is BHJ or BIF. So this is a hematitic iron oolite ore formed in late Cretaceous. Hematitic iron oolite ore formed in a late Cretaceous marine embayment at Aswan, Upper Egypt. This is hematite, like hematitic iron oolite. We have the hematitic iron oolite formed in a late Cretaceous marine embayment at Aswan, Upper Egypt. So we have hematitic iron oolite formed in a late Cretaceous marine embayment at Aswan, Upper Egypt. Hematitic iron oolite. Hematitic iron oolite. There is this hematite and iron oolite. Hematite, iron oolite. Then laminations, banded shale, undeformed. Banded shale, banded copper zinc dominated sulfide ore from Rammelsburg Sedex deposit, Germany, displays ductile soft sediment deformation and cross lamination. Width of image is approximately 20 centimeter. So we have the undeformed shale banded copper zinc dominated sulfide ore from Rammelsburg Sedex deposit, Germany. Then we have the banded and Brixia cave ore of brown sphalerite in the historic Lafatsk mine, Karwendel, Tyrol. This is one of the outliers in the Triassic alpine type carbonate-hosted lead zinc deposits. So we have the banded and Brixia cave ore of brown sphalerite. This is the Brixia part. Brixia, like Brixia part. Okay, and brown sphalerite. The brown portion is sphalerite. ZNS. Ductilely folded sedimentary bearing in very low-grade metamorphic shale, banded iron, copper, zinc sulfide ore with wispy white dolomite laminae. Note the diffuse axial plane cleavage. Sample from the closure of the ore body, same form, Rammelsburg, Germany. Okay, this is, let's rotate, will come. It's taking some time. Now this orientation is taking some time. Anyway, these are the metallogenic overview of southwestern Europe and adjacent Africa, clipping from Juve or Juve and Storset with kind permission of NGO, drawn names, text and symbols in four classes that indicate relative size of deposits. The geological background is simplified to Hercynian, purple, mainly Paleozoic, alpine yellow, mainly Mesozoic, and cover segments, light gray, mainly tertiary. The distance between 5-degree latitude parallels is 550, approximately 550 kilometer. You see here Corsica, the place where Tamasha shooting happened. Tamasha movie. Mm, yeah, it's Madrid, Spain. So here then we have the bird's eye view of the high-grade hematite Mount uh, Tom Price mine in the Hamersley Basin, looking to the northwest, southwest dipping Precambrian banded iron formations build the hills that rise above the plains, courtesy of A. Harding, Rio Tinto iron ore, Perth, Western Australia. Then we have the dunite with nodular chromite in the Ingesana Hills, southern Sudan. The hills expose a large Neoproterozoic ophiolite and host several former chromite mines. Folded scheelite quartz veins. You see the scheelite. Scheelite is folded. So scheelite veinlet, quartz veinlet, scheelite quartz veinlet cutting across foliation of host green schist at Salbertal mine, Austria. So here we are at Austria. Then we have this scheelite in UV illumination. So you see the scheelite, it's UV lights illuminating. Then we have among dark Neoproterozoic volcanic rocks. The white peak of Abu Dabab leucogranite in the eastern desert, Egypt, is striking, although marred by desert varnish. The cupola is investigated for production of tantalum, cassiterite, and ceramic grade feldspar. An exploration at it produced the white waste rock dump on the left slope. This is produced by edit. Okay, then we have the Golden Mile Super Pit at Kalgoorlie, Western Australia. Note supergene oxidation in the foreground, the city of Kalgoorlie boulder on the left, and tailings is the white portion. Tailings means what? The gangue mineral. Okay, the gangue mineral tailings. In the right hand background, photo provided courtesy Kalgoorlie Consolidated Gold Mines. These are the gold mines. Overview of high grade gold ore and carbon rich reef at Ellsberg mine with water strand. This is South Africa, plain polarized reflected light. Red Sea, B. Lehman, Clausthal. The matrix between quartz pebbles not visible consists of clastic pyrite, light gray with fissures, pyritized claystone, um, pebbles, top right margin, and clastic uraninite, medium gray with specks of radiogenic lead in galena, white in Thucolite matrix, pyrobitumen, wavy, dark gray and black, gold is yellow, and intragranular pore spaces, mostly demobilized. Then we have the detailed image of high-grade gold ore in carbon-rich reef at Ellsberg mine with water strand, polarized reflected light, oblique nickel soil immersion, again courtesy B. Lehmann, Clausthal, pyrite, light gray with fissures, gold yellow granular uraninite, medium gray speckled with galena, in thucolite, pyrobitumen, wavy, dark gray, and black. Then we have the Cerro Rico de Potosi, Central Cordillera, Bolivia, contained the world's largest pre-mining silver concentration. Kursi B. Lehman, Coastal, visible by ubiquitous traces of vein mining on the slopes and the oxidized cap of the Miocene volcano. During the 17th century, Potosi was the principal source of fabulous wealth for Spain and of silver inflation in Europe. Then we have the Merensky Reef at Impala Mine, South Africa, with footwall anorthosite. Footwall anorthosite, lower part, a thin chromite band in the middle, and pegmatoid reef on top. Orthopyroxene, plagioclase, and sulfides. Pentlandite, pyrrhotite, chalcopyrite. Height of sample is 15 centimeter. So this is an orthosite. It's very difficult to identify an orthosite. So this is quite an important and essential, like very important picture. I have to write important picture because it's difficult to identify an orthosite. Okay, again, this is the chromite part, and on the top we have pegmatite. So that is it all about. Then we have the Bondi East heavy mineral deposit near southeastern margin of the Murray Basin in Victoria, Australia, looking north at an active mine face which has been cleaned up for channel sampling and detailed mapping. Courtesy David Whitworth, Iluka Resources, barren overburden is removed. Upper low-grade ore, 10 percentage HM is white sand, okay, and with 30 percentage clay. Note the near vertical incision of the high-grade ilmenite zircon rutile sand, dark 50 to 70 percentage HM at the right of the image. The footwall consists of barren, massive, silty white sand. Uh, Patchy oxidation is ubiquitous. And we have this giant manonopegmatite in DR Congo Basin, is a sub-horizontal sheet and asymmetrically zoned. An upper marginal zone is made up of near vertical palisades of spodumene with microcline and patches of staniferous albitite center. The artisanal salt production at Salar de Uyuni at 3,500-meter altitude on the Altiplano of Bolivia, one of the largest salt lakes on Earth. The salar contains giant resources of lithium, potassium, iron, and magnesium in brines below the surface. The background mountains are part of the Central Cordillera, which hosts Cerro Rico de Potosi. Okay, we will keep it till this much and continue with the next part.